चौथा सबसे बड़ा नोएडा इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट।
3 नए मेट्रो कॉरिडोर को एनएमआरसी ने हरी झंडी दे दी।
नोएडा इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट पूरी तरह से उद्घाटन के लिए तैयार है।
हम लोगों का घर हमारा कोई राइट नहीं है।
The most beautiful house in all of Gurgaon, right?
luxurious society of Noida.
Most people ask, what's appreciating? Smart buyers ask, what's already working? Because in real estate, promises don't move prices, operations do. Only 3 things actually move prices, and none of them show up in your launch brochures. This is how serious capital evaluates Noida. Layer by layer, let's go. Noida looks chaotic because most people evaluate it backwards. They start with sectors, then connectivity, then hope zoning works out. That's not strategy, that's guessing. Here's the correct order. Layer 1, what's already operational. Layer 2, what behavior changed because of it. Layer 3, how capital responded, not what could happen, but actually happened. We are reverse engineering Noida the way institutional buyers do. Let's start at the base. To understand Noida, you don't start with sectors. You start with what's already carrying traffic. Because infrastructure only matters when it's operational. Not announced, not proposed, but operational. 3 corridors quietly shaped everything. Vishwakarma Road connects Delhi Meerut Expressway to Noida Greater Noida Expressway, east to west. The Noida Greater Noida Expressway runs north to south from Mahamaya flyover to Pari Chowk. The industrial spines, the east-west arteries that came before the high-rises, before a single tower went up. These corridors decided where the pressure would flow. Sectors near them evolved faster. Land away from them aged slower. This is the base layer. Once this was fixed, everything else stacked on the top. Miss this and every sector decision becomes speculation. Operational beats promised every time. Layer 1 gave you the framework. Layer 2 is what the framework does. Infrastructure doesn't create value by existing. It creates value by compressing time. Here's the shift. Vishwakarma Road doesn't just connect 2 expressways. It eliminates the need to route through the congested internal sectors. Practical benefit, a 40-minute commute becomes 18 minutes. That's not connectivity, that's time reliability. The Noida Greater Noida Expressway doesn't just run north to south. It creates a predictable movement corridor where offices, homes, and schools can stack without friction. People stop calculating travel time and start choosing based on preference. When time becomes predictable, behavior changes. People buy homes farther out. Offices open satellite branches. Retail clusters emerge, not because someone promised a metro extension, because the road already works. This is the difference between access and movement. Access is theoretical, movement is behavioral. Access gets announced in press releases. Movement gets proven in traffic patterns. When infrastructure compresses time, people don't just commute differently. They live differently. They choose differently. They buy differently. Miss this layer and you will mistake a wide road for actual infrastructure. Operational beats promised every time. Once infrastructure compresses time, capital responds. Not randomly, structurally. This is where zoning reveals itself. Look at the Noida Greater Noida Expressway frontage. What sits there? Corporate campuses, institutions, high-activity commercial. Why? Because expressway frontage carries exposure, noise, traffic, continuous movement. So planners placed uses that can absorb exposure. Now look just behind the frontage. Residential, mid-density, lower exposure uses. Not because they're secondary, because they're being shielded. If residential sat directly on the expressway, it would degrade. So zoning stacks pressure instead of letting it collide. Here's what this means for buyers. When zoning works, residential areas stay stable long term. When zoning fails, residential areas get squeezed by commercial creep, traffic overflow, and mixed-use chaos. Sector 105, 92, 151. Shielded residential, stable rental yields, repeated buyers. Sectors with poor zoning enforcement, high churn, speculative flips, unstable pricing. Capital doesn't chase narratives, it chases structural clarity. Capital moves towards predictability to avoid friction so it can reward operational infrastructure that's already compressing time and shielding land use. Miss this layer and you'll blame the market for decisions that were structurally inevitable. Access is theoretical, movement is behavioral, and capital responds structurally, not emotionally. Now let's apply all these three layers to one sector, Sector 137. Launched in the mid-2010s, high visibility, premium positioning. Does it pass the test? Layer 1, operational infrastructure, sits on the Noida Greater Noida Expressway. Check. Metro, operational. Noida city center is accessible. Layer 2, time compression. 22 minutes to Noida city center during peak hours, 14 minutes to Greater Noida West. Behavioral shift, offices started opening nearby, schools followed, retail emerged organically. That's not connectivity, that's time's reliability. Layer 3, capital response. Residential occupancy, 75% plus. Residential absorption, consistent year over year. Repeated buyers in adjacent sectors. Price stability during 2018 to 2020 slowdown? Check. Verdict? Now compare that to sectors that sound similar but fail the test. Sectors with upcoming metro but no current operational link. Sectors with wide roads but no time compression. Traffic still unpredictable. Sectors with mixed zoning and no shielding logic. Same brochure language. Completely different structural reality. That's the difference between a framework and a feeling. Here's the pattern. Operational infrastructure, behavioral shift, capital response. If all these three align, you're looking at a validation. If anyone fails, you're looking at a risk. Operational beats promised every time. Here's the lens. Layer 1. Does operational infrastructure already exist? Layer 2. Has it compressed time and changed behavior? Layer 3. Did capital respond structurally or speculatively? If the answer is yes to all three, you're looking at validation. If the answer is on future announcements, you're looking at risk. This framework works on Noida. It works on Greater Noida. It works on any planned city because infrastructure either operates or it doesn't. Behavior either shifts or it doesn't. Capital either stabilizes or it doesn't. Everything else is just conversation. Access is theoretical, movement is behavioral. Capital doesn't chase narratives, it chases structural clarity, and zoning stacks pressure instead of letting it collide. Remember these lines. Use them when you evaluate any city, any sector, any deal. Operational beats promised every time. Comment below if this framework's changed how you evaluate Noida. If you know someone making a real decision right now, share this before they commit capital. Hit like if this made sense and subscribe for more breakdowns like this. No hype, just structure. Because operational beats promised every time.